One. Well, notice that on your activities for the week yesterday you had motivational talk. Why
Yes,
motivational talk?
yes, we had motivational talks where three veterans, Udwa Ikang Ubeten of CRBC,
Okay.
the former head of service who retired as head of service. He was editor in chief of Chronicle. He was general manager of Chronicle, Mr. Ogbanga Kwajim, and Associate Professor Patrick Ene spoke with with our colleagues, the younger ones, on their experiences along the path of journalism, on what the hazards are, how they can surmount them. Actually, we call it a motivational talk because it's meant to not sway you from the path of journalism. You tend to look at the hazards and want to think, this thing is too much, I can't continue. But journalism is a very noble profession. It is one profession that gives you access to everywhere and anywhere you wish to. So what we are saying is, yes, there are obstacles, there are hazards, there are drawbacks, but our veterans had to tell the younger ones that, look, there are also ways you can surmount them and enjoy the profession to the maximum.
Okay, nice one. So for all your activities you have for this week, is it just for journalists? Do you
It's
have
for,
people for like the health talk? Do you have other people come in for that?
yes, I believe basically it's for the journalists practicing
Okay.
in the state. But I know that as also our corporate social responsibility, there may be some persons in the neighborhood who would want to access those medical out. It's free.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm not sure anybody will hold anybody to ransom. If we stay in this state housing estate, for instance, and people around say, oh, we want to come and check our sugar level, we want to come and check our blood level, or we want to come and listen to the talk on mental health challenges,
Okay.
we won't send them away. We've
Okay.
also invited journalism students from Krutech, Cross River University, and the University of
Unicorn.
Calabar.
Okay. So everyone can attend.
Everyone can attend.
Okay. Good. So maybe after this we might be marching down there
That
or
will be tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow.
So how can journalists balance the need for press freedom with the need for responsible reporting?
That's a very good one. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
because you've had a lot of, when people talk, it gets arrested, some, deprived from freedom of speech. Well,
You
what
are
do you
right.
think?
You are right. Responsible journalism is about first identifying with those basics you were taught in journalism school.
Okay.
Your report should be fair. You are not looking at, oh, because this person insulted me yesterday, I want to use my report to deal with him or her. No. Your report must be balanced. And the Bible tells us to hear the other side. So your report should be objective. If Mr. A says Miss B stole my meat and you say no, I want to report it like that, you are not being balanced, you are not being objective. You must hear from the one who has been accused. Even in court, that's what happens. They give everybody a fair chance to defend themselves of any accusation. So when you observe those rules, they are golden rules that were taught you in school. Be fair, be balanced, be objective, speak the truth. And then you now look at it vis-a-vis the freedom of the press. The media is the only profession, I dare say, that the Constitution recognizes. It gives you freedom of speech, freedom of association. If you have that freedom, you must also realize that your freedom ends when somebody else's freedom starts. So that is where fairness now comes in.
Okay.
If I walk now and say, oh, because I'm a journalist, I want to go out there, I want to slap somebody, and I'm not being fair to that person.
Okay.
And then I go ahead to write it, or somebody says, Florence Oluohu stole whatever, Florence Oluohu killed somebody, and you go ahead with your report without hearing from me. It's not balanced. If you say this said this, you now say in defense, this person also said this. What you're doing in that aspect is you're being objective. You are leaving your reader or your viewer or your listener to decide who is telling the truth and who is not. So press freedom and responsible journalism, they are like hand in gloves. They go hand in hand. You can't wear your shoes without your socks. So you can't do responsible journalism in an atmosphere where you are gagged, where you are censored.
Okay.
If you are censored, you will tend to want to be tilted or biased in your reportage. So I don't know the press freedom and responsible journalism, it's like the egg and chick story. You don't know which comes first, but they are Siamese twins.
Thank you for you answered the question perfectly. So my for um press freedom, that's the right of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Any journalist that's maybe has any issue and is arrested or harassed, is there any like body to attend to such situation?
Certainly,
Okay.
certainly. It's not only a body, a local body or a
Okay.
national body. Even international bodies tend to talk about our any infringement on the journalist rights. At the local level, at the national level, we have the NUJ.
Okay.
The NUJ never sleeps over a journalist that is harassed. They go all out. At the higher level, we have the Nigerian Guild of Editors. They don't sleep. The Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria is there. Even Amnesty International fights for us. The International Press Center. You know, when a journalist is actually being harassed, you see a whole lot of a cachet of media related organizations rising up to speak on their behalf and in their defense.
Okay. Thank you very much. But this is like actually what the next question I have to ask is something that has been going on for a while now.
Okay.
And this is NUJ Media Week. How can is there any kind of regulation or like how we could filter bad news that is not true? A lot of them have and but false news goes faster than the one that is correct. So is there any body or anything assigned for that?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
The journalism profession, like practically every other profession in life, is hierarchical. If your reporter goes out and brings a story, that's why you have a lineup of editors. In the print media where I have practiced in the last 34 years, I started as a reporter. I do not just write my report and hand it over for publication.
Okay.
It has to go through the news editor. It has to go through the editor. It has to go through the editor-in-chief. So that, you see, with this lineup, there's no way a news that is not balanced will pass through. The filter, like you called it, will capture anything that is not. There are days you write, your editor returns your script to you and says, go and interview the other person because your story is not balanced.
Okay.
So those filters are there. They are called editors, line editors, sub editors, everywhere. Your story as a reporter doesn't just go like that. Even here in the radio, in the television, I know you have editors.
Yes.
I know they touch your stories, they edit. Editorial strokes are not for destruction. You know, when we cross out things, those are strokes. They are not for destruction. They are to make your story better and to inform the public of what truly is.
So how do you handle the ones on social media? You know, those ones fly fast, very fast.
Social media. Social media is a child of necessity.
Okay.
It's the modern trend. That is why when you look at social media content, the ones that are under the auspices of a media organization, because practically every media organization now has a space in the social media world. The stories that are written by maybe some national newspapers, CRBC has a space there, you won't find a story that is not balanced. Mostly what you find on social media are people who are not journalists per se, let me use that word. People who are not journalists, who just see something and decide to go. If you are a trained journalist, even if it's the media, the social media space that you occupy, you will know the rudiments of the profession. You will know fairness, you will know truth, you will know facts, you will know how to balance your story. So the difference between, it's not everybody on the social media that is a journalist.
Yes.
It's not everybody that posts on YouTube, WhatsApp, and whatever that is a journalist. So, but when you now look at the report from a trained journalist, from a seasoned journalist, and that of a how do I call it, a wakapass writer, it's not anybody that writes that is a journalist. So the training impacts on what you send out, and it is seen by people.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, we are having a conversation with Chief Editor-in-Chief Chronicle newspaper Florence Oluohu, speaking on the NUJ Media Week. I'm so happy I got the name right this time.
You did.
So for you now, this personal, are you enjoying your week, alright? The Media Week.
Yes.
Which would you say is your favorite? Which are you looking forward to?
On Saturday,
Okay,
World Press Freedom Day, I joined the walk from Wapi Junction through Diamond into the highway and to 1111.
Okay.
I actually thought I had strength. I didn't reckon with my old age.
Oh no.
But I did the full length of it.
And you
And
enjoyed it.
thereafter, we went to the Mother Elizabeth Orphanage Home at Ambo. We also went to the Correctional Center where, funny enough, the Correctional Center, what we perceive out here is one dark and dingy place, but you'll be surprised. The inmates prayed for us.
Wow.
The women prayed. When I say pray, and the men too. We met with them in the Chapel of Mercy. They prayed for us. They needed the prayer more, but they prayed for us. We also retaliated and prayed for them.
Mm-hmm.
Those steps are like, okay, journalists, you don't only just receive, also give out.
Yes.
And also at the Mother Elizabeth Orphanage Home, you won't believe, we went with foodstuff and the children still gave us cooked food
Wow.
to take away. So
Wow.
the lessons I learned from those outreaches is that your hand does not necessarily have to be up. Your hands can receive, your hands can give. And it shows me that Nigerians are appreciative people.
Yes.
For the little you do to them, they respect you, they appreciate you, and they want to, in their own little way, give back. That was for the Press Freedom Week. Yesterday was motivational talk. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there because I had this health challenge, which I'm still managing.
But you're better.
But thank you. Yesterday, from the feelers I got, from the feedback, from the photographs, our people were, the younger generation of journalists were impacted on. They heard what people like Ogban Akwaji, who had passed through every strata of journalism, what he had to say. They heard what Associate Professor Patrick Eneokon had to say. They heard what Udwa Ikan Obeten had to tell them about what she had experienced over the years in journalism. And I'm sure they are better off. Thereafter, the mascot came, and the mascot brings joy.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was laughing and dancing. The Commissioner for Information was there. It was really impactful. Today would even be better if I say so. Because today is a day where we recognize our veterans who had impacted on the profession so very well. Mm-hmm. They are retired now. They can't be as strong as us.
Yes, I was about to ask that.
So we are saying, let's go out on a visitation to them. Let's sit with them. Let's remind them of those days in the newsroom where you will throw banters, we'll laugh, and we'll give them a little something.
Okay.
To remind them that we are still their colleagues. Once a journalist, forever
Always.
A journalist.
Beautiful, wonderful work you do out there, and I'm really excited about this. But what are your final words to the listeners and to the fellow journalists?
Fellow journalists, I would say the terrain there is not particularly smooth. But I recall when I started journalism, a very senior colleague in the profession, he's a commissioner for sports in Akwa Ibom now. We are expecting him on Thursday to give a talk on the domestication of the sports policy. He told me, he said, may your road be rough. And I felt, Mr. Bassi, why did you insult me so? He said, no. If you have a smooth path in journalism, you won't enjoy the profession.
True.
You just must see, you must hear, you must know those stumbling blocks, you must know those roadblocks, and you must know how to. Journalists don't give up. Journalism opens you up. It's a large space out there. It's a world out there. It's a beautiful profession. Do not give up. You're just coming. I have said 34 years. By next year, I'll be gone from the state government's employ, but not from journalism.
Of course.
Because the ink in my veins, I didn't say blood, the ink in my veins will still keep me practicing. If somebody like Aremo Segun Oshoba, who started journalism before I was born, still calls himself a reporter. I will be a forever reporter.
Amen. I'm so excited. Thank you very, very much. We
Thank
just had a conversation with Editor-in-Chief Chronicle newspaper, Mrs. Florence Oluohu, spoke on the NUJ week, and she's a very beautiful, dark skin, shining woman. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Coming
you.
to CRBC. CRBC is home, so we must always come back home.
Of course, thank you very much,
Thank
ma.
you.
We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back.